New York wage theft, how to file a complaint with the New York DOL. Step-by-step 2026. Wage theft is the single largest form of theft in the United States, costing American workers an estimated $50 billion every year. New York State has some of the strongest wage theft protections in the nation. As stated on the official website of the New York State Department of Labor, the department enforces New York labor law and recovers millions in stolen wages annually. This presentation provides a step-by-step guide to filing a wage theft complaint with the New York DOL in 2026, from gathering evidence to receiving your back pay. Wage theft includes unpaid minimum wage, unpaid overtime, illegal deductions from pay, off-the-clock work, misclassification as independent contractor, and failure to pay prevailing wage on public works projects. New York Labor Law Article 6, Sections 190 through 199, provides the legal framework for wage protections. Under New York Labor Law Section 198, if your employer fails to pay wages as required, you may recover the full amount of unpaid wages, plus liquidated damages equal to 100% of unpaid wages, effectively doubling your recovery. What is wage theft? 7 common types under New York law. Under New York labor law, wage theft takes many forms. Type 1, minimum wage violations. New York's minimum wage is $15 per hour for most of the state, and $16 in New York City, Long Island, and Westchester. Paying below these rates is illegal under New York Labor Law Section 652. Type 2, overtime violations. Under New York law and the FLSA, most employees must receive time and a half for all hours worked over 40 in a work week. Type 3, off-the-clock work. Type 4, illegal deductions. Under Section 193, employers can only deduct for specific authorized purposes. Type 5, misclassification as independent contractor. Type 6, prevailing wage violations on public works projects. And Type 7, late or missing final paychecks. As the New York State Department of Labor explains at its official website, understanding what constitutes wage theft is the first step toward protecting your rights. Step 1, gather your evidence and documentation. The first and most important step is collecting evidence. As the department states on its official website, the more evidence you can provide, the faster they can investigate. Keep copies of pay stubs, time cards, schedules, timesheets, check stubs, direct deposit records, and written communications about your pay. If your employer uses an app or online portal, take screenshots regularly. Start a personal log of all hours you work, including days, times, and any off-the-clock work. Preserve emails, text messages, and Slack messages related to your hours and pay. If you were misclassified, save any 1099 forms, contracts, and evidence of the employer control over your work. Under New York labor law, you have the right to request your payroll records. If coworkers experience the same wage theft, gather their contact information. Group complaints can be more powerful. Step 2, file your wage complaint with the New York Department of Labor. Once you have your evidence, file a formal complaint. As stated on the official New York DOL website, you can file online, by mail, or in person. The online portal at dol.ny.gov is the fastest option. Complete the wage complaint form, also known as Form LS-223, with your name, contact information, employer details, dates of employment, job title, rate of pay, total wages believed owed, and a description of the violations. Attach copies of your supporting evidence. There is no filing fee. You do not need a lawyer. The New York DOL provides language assistance for non-English speakers. You can also request that your identity remain confidential if you fear retaliation. The process is designed to be accessible to all workers regardless of income or background. Step 3, what happens after you file? The New York DOL Division of Labor Standards begins its investigation. First, an initial review of your complaint takes about 1 to 2 weeks. The DOL sends a notice to your employer requesting their response and records within 10 to 20 business days. The investigation phase lasts 4 to 12 weeks. A labor standards investigator reviews evidence, interviews witnesses, and examines payroll records. The statute of limitations in New York is 6 years, much longer than the federal 2-year limit. At any point, the DOL may facilitate settlement discussions. You are not required to accept a settlement if it is unfair. And remember, employer retaliation is illegal under New York Labor Law Section 215. If your employer fires, threatens, or punishes you for filing, you can file a separate complaint and recover additional damages. Step 4. New York DOL Determination, Order, and Recovery. After the investigation, the DOL issues a written determination with findings of fact and the amount of wages due. Under New York Labor Law Section 198, you are entitled to all unpaid wages, plus liquidated damages equal to 100% of unpaid wages, which doubles your award, plus prejudgment interest at 9% per year. The DOL can also assess civil penalties against your employer. Willful failure to pay wages is a misdemeanor, and repeat offenses can be prosecuted as a felony by the New York Attorney General. If your employer does not pay voluntarily, the DOL can file the order as a court judgment, allowing wage garnishment and bank levies. Both sides have the right to appeal to the Industrial Board of Appeals. Step 5. Alternative legal paths, courts and private lawsuits. While the DOL process is the most accessible, you can also pursue other avenues. You can file a private lawsuit in New York State Supreme Court under Section 198, with a 6-year statute of limitations. You can join a class action if the wage theft affected multiple employees. You can sue in federal court under the Fair Labor Standards Act, though the statute of limitations is only 2 years for non-willful violations. You can file a complaint with the U.S. Department of Labor Wage and Hour Division. Federal and state complaints can be filed simultaneously. If you cannot afford an attorney, several organizations provide free legal help, including the Legal Aid Society, the New York Legal Assistance Group, and Make the Road New York. Special protections under New York law for vulnerable workers. Farm workers now have overtime after 60 hours per week under the Farm Laborers Fair Labor Practices Act. Home care aides are protected under the Home Care Wage Parity Act, requiring a total compensation package of at least $13.50 per hour. Tipped employees must receive a cash wage of at least $10 per hour in New York City or $8.80 outside the city, plus tips that must bring them to at least the full minimum wage. Fast food workers have a $15 minimum wage statewide and protections against unfair scheduling. App-based delivery workers have a minimum pay rate of approximately $18 per hour under NYC rules. And crucially, all workers regardless of immigration status are entitled to minimum wage, overtime, and all other wage protections under New York law. Take action now, your 2026 Wage Theft Action Plan. Step 1. Start today. Begin documenting your hours, collecting pay stubs, and saving evidence. Step 2. File online at dol.ny.gov. Complete Form LS-223, attach your evidence, and submit. Step 3. Know your numbers. Calculate what you are owed and remember that under Section 198, you can recover double through liquidated damages. A $5,000 claim becomes a $10,000 claim. Step 4. Get free help. Call the New York DOL Labor Standards Division at 888-469-7365. Step 5. Protect yourself. Retaliation is illegal. If your employer threatens or punishes you, document it and file a retaliation complaint. You are not alone. In 2023 alone, the New York DOL recovered over $30 million in stolen wages for New York workers. Thousands of workers file successful claims every year. The system is designed for workers. You can do this.